I was speaking with Obasanjo one time, and he told me, he said, he listed some things. I said, those are the things that are necessary to find the chat. Should I find the chat?
Find the chat.
It says, Ali. Okay, I'm going to read that. Ali, I'm happy you are catching up with politics, but you still have a lot to learn. And I said, like what, sir? He said, like how you get governors and presidents elected. So you need 7 governors to win an election. Lagos, Bayelsa, Delta, Rivers, Kano, Kaduna, and the CBN governor.
To win at federal level, a presidential
election. You need 7 governors. 1, Lagos. 2, Bayelsa. 3, Delta. 4, Rivers. 5, Kano. 6, Kaduna. 7, the CBN governor.
So you just, without, even if you are a political novice,
you know what all this means.
Understand the permutation.
Exactly. And so when I said, but Kano and Kaduna don't have much. He said, that's for numbers.
For numbers. True. For numbers.
He said, and what is money? That's numbers too. All right. He goes to say, you need 44 of the most popular senatorial districts. He said, you need to have awarded 10 contracts, and 15% of that contract can give you marginal impact at the polls. And you must award these contracts in your first year of assumption of office.
Whoa.
Because if you don't do that, then you can't ask the people for anything. Because when you give them at the first year of your getting into office, when it's time for elections, you just tell them, do you want to continue this contract, or they know what to do. He said, you must name your CGN, you must name your IGP, you must name your Controller General Customs, you must name the head of the NNPC, you must name your CBN governor. And if you want to get into the judiciary, you must suspend pending cases of corrupt past governors who are loaded. Don't forget that those guys have chests.
War chests.
War chests that's just sitting down waiting for who they want to align with. No matter how much EFCC milks from them, they still have plenty. These are people who were sitting on a monthly federal allocation. Don't forget that. Sometimes when, your federal allocation, like some states will mention, when they get their federal allocation, they don't touch it. They actually add to it because their state internally generated revenue is higher than what the federal gives to them. So if federal government gives them 3 naira, they can add 4 naira to it and spend 7. So when they leave office, EFCC can't come look for them because they added money to what federal government gave them. But you see that internally generated revenue, that is their sweat, as it's called. It's their money, they generated it themselves. They can determine anything they want to do with it. And then it says, yes, this is the meaty part of it. Say, get US or China support. Because of their businesses in your country, they would support whoever. You heard the fallout from the Senate in this thing that said how they helped Buhari to get into office and remove Jonathan. National Association of Nigerian Students. NANS. Market Women.
NURTW.
Unsettled the organized labor.
Settle or unsettle?
Unsettle. Now, organized labor is where you then have people who protest. We are not this, we are this, and we are supporting that. We don't like this. All of that. Comment. There's one other. Get 10 of the richest Nigerians on your side. And we know the usual suspects. Infiltrate opposition parties and let them decamp before election. So you have your party. I want to infiltrate the party. I'll send my people to leave my own party and join your own party before the elections. So when the time of elections comes, they would then disrupt the whole thing. They probably would be the ones they put in charge of electioneering campaign. You won't know that the reason they decamp from that side was to make sure that your own campaign doesn't succeed. So when you are planning and saying, no, this is what we'll do this, they inform those people that this is what they plan to do. So by the time...
And later on, you will hear they are going back to their old party.
Exactly. then you know, somebody did it when he said, oh, he was supposed to be... I think Asiwaju's campaign guy. Then he left to go and support the guy from Kano. You know, sometimes when these people say some things, you know, you have to respect this. Buy delegates 1 year before your congresses. 1 year before the congresses, buy them. Have a hand in appointing all party chairmen, all parties chairmen, all parties. So it's not. So when you hear that two people are gunning for an office, and you are not in the party, you call the other parties running against and say, you want to be chairman, we'll fund you. Right. Secure INEC and state rec, blogs and social media, religious leaders, royal fathers, appointment of board of chairmen and DGs. It says, refer to number 2. Get 4 constitutional lawyers on retainership.
We've been talking about what is playing out in Rivers State. And we've done a lot of permutation analysis and a lot of conclusion that this is the reason why Tinubu called a state of emergency in Rivers State. And we all obviously have agreed now that it's because of 2027. But what Ali Baba has done here with this explanation from this text message from Obasanjo is to shed more light that this is the plan. And this is why Tinubu wants Rivers State by all means. This is why Tinubu wants Bayelsa State by all means. There are 7 states he mentioned. All right? 7 governorship you need. Out of those 7 governorship names that he mentioned, APC is in Lagos and Kaduna. And then he mentioned CBN governor, Olayemi Cardoso. That's the CBN governor. The other ones it does not have. It does not have Bayelsa, Rivers State, Delta State, and Kano. So it needs those states. But before we break this down here, if you're meeting this content for the first time, please like, share, and subscribe. If you've been following us and you've not yet subscribed, please do so. Now let's get to the meat of the matter here. And please make sure you watch this to the end. Let's get to the meat of the matter. You need Lagos State, Bayelsa State, Rivers State, Delta State, Kano, Kaduna to win the election. And you need the CBN governor. You need the state with the highest grossing revenues. Tinubu has Lagos State in APC. He has Kaduna in APC. He does not have Bayelsa, which is PDP, Rivers Delta in PDP, and NNPP in Kano. This chaos in Rivers State is manufactured. This state of emergency in Rivers State is manufactured. So this chaos in Rivers State will continue until the election period. They need Rivers State by all means. So they will foment as much trouble as they want to get Rivers State. They're coming for Bayelsa State. They've already started giving us indices to that effect. The other part that shocked me really is it says name your IGP. Remember, they've been talking about Egbetokun being an illegal IGP. That man will do anything, everything Tinubu tells him to do. So they need that. NNPC is just been changed. Strategic. It wasn't for effectiveness. No, it's for this purpose. Now, he said something, suspend all pending cases of corrupt past governors who are loaded. Do you really realize why none of these governors who are criminals, who have stolen from their state, are ever prosecuted? Ali Baba just showed us the reason why. I'll come back to another main issue that I know you have at the back of your mind. It's unsettled organized labor. But the one thing he mentioned was to infiltrate opposition parties. We saw that in the 2023 election. Peter Obi didn't really realize that. You see what happened in Labour Party? You see what is happening in SDP right now? I beg to ask this question. Is El Rufai a plant? All this drama that's happening between El Rufai and Bola Tinubu, is there a plan towards that? Is El Rufai a plant into SDP? And if Peter Obi goes to join them, is that where the problem is going to be? Because obviously we know now that Wike works for Tinubu, is a plant in PDP. It's an informant there. Okay? More so. El Rufai, with this open fight that he has had with Tinubu, is just all a plot. Let's pivot back to Labour Party. The likes of Arabambi and the other man and their Abures, they're still working for this man, are they? It's a question I'm asking. Do you think they're still working for Bola Tinubu to feed them information? That's why this party chairman, one moment Arabambi fights with Abure, the next moment is they settled. And now he says Abure still remains the Labour Party chairman. You can see all of these cards moving right now. So all the things that we had as speculations and analyses is just coming in the open. Ali Baba just break that down. It just broke that down for all of us. You want to win the presidential election in Nigeria. This is what you need to do. And guess what? These are the states that Peter Obi won, but was stolen. So you need all the states to win. Bola Tinubu did not win these states in 2023. So you can see all of these political chess moving parts. And he says you need to bribe the monarchs. You need to bribe you need to get the 10 richest men in Nigeria on your side. We know who those ones are. They don't talk about them. Leave them alone. Get the National Assembly, NANS, Student Union Body together, Nigerian Association, Nigerian students, get them together, get them on your side. Disorganize, organize labor. So settle them, make them fight between themselves. That's why we used to know that our labor unions are usually bribed. One moment they're fighting, the other moment they resist and say they're not fighting anymore. This is the corruption in our society that we must come together as a people to resist. We cannot take 2027 for granted. That's the fight for the soul of Nigeria. If you've heard that before somewhere else, I'm saying that now. 2027 is the fight for the soul of Nigeria. I couldn't resist. I watched this tape that I've just played for you. I couldn't go past that spot. I had to sit back and look at every part he talked about, and I thought, okay, is it right to ask all of you in the comment section, is El Rufai supposedly going to be a plant in SDP? Or has Tinubu already got a plant in SDP anyway already? Do you think that with all the speculation about Bayelsa, is it regarding this thing that Ali Baba mentioned? Now, this is the final part of what I want to emphasize here. The likes of Obasanjo ruined Nigeria. If Obasanjo and the likes of them, like Jonathan, had fixed the country, make sure our judiciary, make sure our electoral system work, we will not have the likes of these people that we currently have, the Akpabios, the Tinubus today. We will not have them. If they had fixed the issues of corruption from beginning, from 1999 when they got into power, we will not be having this kind of conversation you and I are having right now. This is where the decay started from. And it can only get worse. You can see how Tinubu jettisoned the constitution to impose a sole administrator in Rivers State. They're going to do the same thing in Bayelsa State. There's killing in Plateau State. There's another one in Kebbi State, no state of emergency. But in Rivers State, where they need the state, they need the resources of the state. They need the money. By all means, they want that money. So make of it what you will. But I want to ask you the question, for what you've watched so far, do you agree here now that by all means they need Rivers State, they need, as a matter of fact, they're talking about Delta State. Those states are already in their hands anyway. They're going to rig that election come 2027. But you're talking about Delta State. So put in the comment section what you think. But this is what I am made out of what I've watched anyway. And I wanted to share that with you so that you can now see in clarity the things that we've been emphasizing about, that 2027 is a fight for the soul of Nigeria. These guys are not joking. They put their plans in already. They're causing chaos all over the country so that they can impose a state of emergency come election period, and then have a sweeping stake all over the election period and say they won. And bear in mind, I need to warn you, every state APC controls, there's always chaos there. Every state. Edo State is a case in point. Imo State is another case in point. There's chaos. We need to start talking about how to wrestle Lagos State out of the hands of APC come 2027. Because when you get Lagos State out of their hands, their money bag goes away. So as I said earlier, if you're meeting this content for the first time, please like, share, and subscribe. And also participate in the comment section. Let us know what you think. If you've been following us and you've not yet subscribed, please do so. Click on the subscribe button, like, share, and also recommend the content to others too. Let's have this dialogue in our comment section and have this conversation. What do you make of this whole thing Ali Baba said? And what do you think about the part Obasanjo and his likes played towards the destruction of Nigeria? But above all, do you believe as well that this Bola Tinubu is coming for Bayelsa State, and they're going to foment trouble in that state so that they can impose another state of emergency? It's one step at a time for them. And we must fight and make other people aware that Nigeria deserves better. So God bless you. Catch you up in the next video. Bye-bye for now.